Well, hello, friends. It's March 9th, and I just need to turn down my volume a little bit. Yep, there we go. Hopefully that's okay for you today. Sorry about that little hiccup and glitch. It's March 9th. This is Good News Wednesday, and it's live. Can you tell? And I'm just happy to spend a few moments with you on this Wednesday to share a little bit out of God's Word, share some good news. We all need good news. And I've got some for you this morning. And it's from Psalms, the book of Psalms, out of God's Word, Psalm 78. I want to share a little bit of that psalm with you today, and then I want to share a bit of my personal story and kind of what this week means to me and to our family. But let me start with Psalm 78 today as we look for some good news. Well, as we start, this may not be the best of news as we start, but Psalm 78 verse 11 says this: "They forgot what he had done, the wonders he had shown them." You see, in Psalm 78, this part of the Bible, we're being reminded that we need to be reminded. In fact, we see a people that have forgotten. They've forgotten, and it's easy to forget. Do you find it easy to forget? I find it's easy to forget. And it's easy to forget all that God has done. And in Psalm 78, verse 11, we read that they had forgotten, the people of God, the people had forgotten what God had done for them and all the wonders he had shown them. And I know it's easy. It is super easy for us to forget. And in the midst of it all, we lose sight of the fact that God is a God who does amazing things. He does wonderful things. And so I want you to consider today what God is up to and what he might want to do, what he might want to do in your life. Psalm 78, verse 19. So a little bit later in that chapter, we read that the people spoke against God. They said, "Can God really spread a table in the wilderness? Can God really spread a table in the wilderness?" They were questioning whether God could really do that for them. They were going through a struggle. They were going through a hard time. They were going through this wilderness season. They were going through this winter season. They were going through this difficult season. And so they had forgotten, and it's easy to forget. It's easy to get caught up in all the things and forget. And they had forgotten, and so they asked this question: can God really spread a table in the wilderness? Can he do that? And they were doubting. They were doubting that he could. They were forgetting all the things that God had done for them in the past. And sometimes we do that. We get so caught up in all that's going on that we forget that God has done great things, that God has been present in the past. He is present right now, and he will be present in the future. And we ask these questions. And it's okay, I get it. Sometimes we ask these questions. Sometimes we get into places in our life where we wonder, where are you, God? What are you up to, God? Can you really do this? And that's what the people ask. Can God really do this? Can God really help us? And I'm here to say the good news today is that God can. God really can. God really can do miracles. We have a God. We worship a God. There is a God who does miracles. Have you experienced his miracles? Would you even be willing to share? Would you be willing to put in the comment, yes, I've experienced God working. Yes, I know he works. I might be questioning things right now, but God really can. God really can. And even though it's easy to forget that sometimes, and in the book of Psalm we see that, and in Psalm 78 we see that, we see the people had forgotten. The people had forgotten what God could do, what God had done, what God wanted to do and would do. And so they said, can God really provide a table in the wilderness for us? Well, yeah, he did. He took care of the people. He provided for the people. There was manna from heaven. So the answer to the question is yes, but they were struggling. God really can. God really can do miracles. We believe that. I believe that. Do you believe that today? Have you seen God do things that are unexplainable? Have you experienced the miraculous work of God? Because God really can. And that's what I wanted to encourage you with today. This is a week where we as a family remember that God really can. 10 years ago, God really did. God really did an amazing thing in the life of our daughter. 10 years ago, it's been 10 years since God performed a miracle in her life. And every year around this time, we take time to reflect on that. and we say God really can because God really did. And we must never forget those points in our life because they're anchor points. They're points that we have to remember. They're points that we have to share as we see God working and we say God really can. And we believe that. So God really can answer our prayers when we're praying for peace. God really can answer the prayer that we want a family member to, be freed from addiction. God really can bring a relationship back into harmony and peace and reconcile between people. God really can. God does miracles. I pull this paper out every once in a while. This is a paper from the Gleaner, the local paper here, from Wednesday, May 23rd, 2012, so 10 years ago. And on the front, there's a picture of my much younger daughter. I'm sure she'll be glad that I'm showing you this, but you probably can't really see it. I'll keep it down so you can't. But there's a picture of myself and my daughter, and the headline reads, "Girls Recovery, Proof of Miracles, Dad." Girls Recovery, Proof of Miracles. That was the headline. Girls Recovery, Proof of Miracles, Dad. I did say that. I said that right in the article. And so that's the headline that is quoted. And it's just not me that believes that. God really can. I really believe that. And God did a miracle, and we must never forget that. But I've sat with Leah's doctor, who's looked me in the eye and said, anytime you talk about miracles, you use your daughter as an example. Here's a medical professional saying it's a miracle. God really can. If you don't know the full story of my daughter, I'd be happy to share it with you sometime and all that she went through. But we can trust God. Even when we forget, even when we struggle, even when we're in the midst of these wilderness seasons, these winter seasons, these really tough and hard things, even when we question whether God can or not, even when we forget what he has done in the past, may we hold on to the truth that God is a God of miracles and that God really can. Let me leave you with Psalm 77, verse 14. Interesting, I was just talking about Psalm 78, where the people forgot and they began to doubt and they began to question. Well, in Psalm 77, you just flip your page back in the Bible, or if you're on your tablet or whatever, you just, you swipe backwards to Psalm 77, and this is what you read. Psalm 77, verse 14. You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. That's what gives us hope. That's what we hold on to. That's what makes us confident we have a God who does miracles. He has, he is, and he will. May you be reminded of that today. May you hold on to the fact that God really can. And feel free in your comments, just share the way that you have seen God work. If you're not comfortable sharing it online, then tell somebody today. Tell somebody, testify to the fact that God really can, and God does do miracles. Peace be with you.